Going over to the political part podcast, you have Elon Musk roasting the congressional spending bill and gets over 100 million views, which is quite a view to say the least. Now, this is brought to us thanks to, well, appropriately enough, Elon Musk himself on X, in which he says, quote, "I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Shame on those who voted for it. You know what you did is wrong, and you know it." Getting 110.4 million views and 560,000 likes, which is quite a few to say the least. Which, yeah, yet another reason I have a great disdain for rhinos. At least respect Democrats in terms of you get, whatever you vote for, you usually get, well, when they count your vote, sometimes they don't with superdelegates, but it's an instance where there's only betrayal with Republicans. There are so many useless rhinos, mainly spineless, mainly corrupt, or as Archer would say, maybe a little column A, maybe a little column B. But yeah, we elected you to cut the spending. We elected you to get rid of the corruption. And yet, very, very, very rarely do they ever cut spending. Sometimes we get some tax breaks, which, again, I appreciate. I want more. And yet, yeah, they're, let me know in the comments if you think they're more corrupt or inept. Hard to say which one is worse. Well, that's a debate in and of itself. One of the first comments coming to us is thanks to Trump Tracker, who says, quote, "We tried to warn you. Trump only cares about himself and his wealthy friends," getting 10,000 likes and 332 responses. Trying to see if he was ratioed. No, not 10,000 likes. No. Daniel Abbey did respond saying the overwhelming majority of multi-billionaires back the Democrats, which, yeah, that's true. Getting 78 likes. Pardon my ex says, quote, "Okay, LOL, because Harris wouldn't have added to the spending in what freaking universe," getting 77 likes. You also have Hodge Twins going back to the main comment section saying, quote, "Republicans are all paid off liars and don't give a damn about the people who voted for them. Never again," getting 20,000 likes. Let's make it 21,000 maybe. No, but I did like it nevertheless. Which, yeah. Every time someone says Republicans are going to stand up for something, which, again, in the United States, politically speaking, firearms and gun ownership is very much a political issue with, Democrats wanting to take them away and Republicans claiming they want to give us back gun rights. And yet, my favorite use case that I always will argue to my deathbed, which is, again, I would give Republicans so much credit if they get rid of the NFA Act in 1934. It's the reason buying a suppressor, short-barrel rifle, short-barrel shotgun, machine gun, destructive device is a pain in the rear, and you have to pay a tax stamp from, again, 1934 for your God-given right, which I find utterly abhorrent. Also have to pay sales tax on top of that, which I think is bull crap. But again, that's been around for almost 100 years. Democrats say they're pro-gun, and yet they haven't repealed that. There have been multiple times in my life where the Republicans have had the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives. And yet, that is still around for almost 100 years of tyranny. So I always kind of use that as a kind of a point to drive my, a data point to drive my point home in terms of, again, I want more gun rights. I want less taxes. I want the government to stop spending so much. And I vote, for people who say they'll do that. And then they don't, then I, won't vote for them again. But yeah, it's ridiculous. You also have Retard Finder, one of the most popular growing profiles on X, saying, quote, "I hate to break this to everyone, but you've all been played. It's time to wake up. This is a worldwide phenomenon. Nothing will ever change. People behind the scenes are running the show now," getting 29,000 likes, which, yeah, I would tend to agree in terms of a globalist agenda. That's one of the reasons you have less fun cars around the world, because all the emissions regulations. You have Nick Sorter saying, quote, "The Senate can cut the pork out and send it back to the House, and that's what they should do." And he says he did a hashtag to leader John Thune. That got 9.1 thousand likes. Heather Eagleman says, quote, "I can smell the primaries right now," getting 3.1 thousand likes, which, again, I think Trump, they should have all moved a lot quicker when he first got in office, because, again, once the midterms get here, they'll do even less, because, again, they want to basically do no controversy at all, so they'll get more votes. But, yeah, the primary, I'm going to actually like that. The primaries, yeah, vote these rhinos out. It's, yeah. What is it? The age-old saying is no one is more apt, or no one has a better, more consistent track record of stealing victory from the jaws of defeat. Or is it the other way around with Republicans? Now you have Brianna Mordiano saying, quote, "Doge was extremely popular with American voters, and ultimately they're working against the will of their voters." Agree, gained 6.9 thousand likes. Robbie Starbuck says, quote, Congress has never been more hated. The good members know this and understand why. It's largely corrupt, insular, narcissistic, and filled with wrong incentives. It's both sides of the problem, especially in leadership, and that's the nicest stuff I can say of Congress for now. Getting 12,000 likes. Ed Krasenstein says, quote, "It's crazy to me that all the Republicans voted Republican in order to balance the budget, But when it comes down to it, they don't really care. It's just all about what Trump wants, and what Trump says is good. Getting 8.3 thousand likes, which I find his statements mostly mentally vacuous. But again, life in an echo chamber can get a little bit boring, so I try to follow as many people as I can of all political ideologies on the X. And yeah, I definitely think we should be cutting the budget. No one is brave enough to do this. Trump won't. We need to cut entitlements. There's a little bit of that, but not enough. It is one of the biggest corruptions in the United States, the people using them as basically lifelong piggy banks. But yeah, let's just say the people who need help, they're there, but I can't believe there's more and more people who just live off the system or leech off the system, make a lifestyle out of it, which again, we cannot sustain. We're over $36 trillion in debt because of the ineptitudes and or corruption of Democrats and Republicans. You also have Valentino Gomez saying, quote, Elon, we need a real patriot in office. They tagged along with you and President Trump and always end up, and as always, they end up betraying the American people, getting 1.6 thousand likes. Email Strong says, the big beautiful bill is an ugly, wasteful piece of slop, getting 1.9 thousand likes. Which again, there's some good in it. But again, I think there's way too much cost as well. Sassafras84 says, quote, I voted for Trump because I want to change our government. If we didn't drain the swamp, nothing will ever change. I remember when primaries came and people kept saying that don't let a Democrat win. We must primary our GOP members. We absolutely must. Yep, getting 2.1 thousand likes. General Mike Flynn says, quote, it will not get better. The hogs are still at the trough and they refuse to move away from it. There are not enough good, honest people in Congress who are willing to stand up for the harder right thing to do at this stage of our monumental national debt, getting 14,000 likes. Which, yeah, we now spend more on the actual interest of the debt than we do on defense. And again, that's just paying the interest of the loan, not the actual loan that we owe. Guys, Planet of Memes, finally, it's been a while since I've seen him. Or some people call it, like me, because it sounds fancy, Planet of Memes. And you have, what is this meme? The guy who's trying to catch a ball and someone comes up behind him. The guy catching the ball is called Doge, and the ball is real cuts to government spending. Then the monster behind him is the GOP, and it pulls him away from the ball. Getting 1,000 likes. Yeah, the world of statistics saying the U.S. budget deficit. And now ever since, what was it, 2002, it's just gone up exponentially. Yeah. Now he did also note, says, quote, a budget deficit occurs when more, he just defines it. AKA, we're spending more money than we take in. That's kind of the summary of his old paragraph there. Which, yeah, is an issue, and it's disgusting, and I would argue unpatriotic. They keep just kicking the can down, because eventually we have to do something. Now, might not be a very popular idea, but I think in terms of, how do we balance the budget, just like a business, you should probably sell off things that you don't use or are useless to you. I mean, U.S. might have to sell something we don't use to kind of get rid of some of that debt. Something useless that contributes nothing, like Hawaii. I'm only partially kidding. I mean, a lot of research development, a lot of innovation coming from Hawaii. I understand they have a military base in their tourism. But I'm only partially kidding. I'm sure we'll keep Hawaii. But yeah, one of Elon's most popular statements of the whole year. And yeah, we'll see. I mean, I'm not very hopeful, but do you think the Senate will actually make the bill better? Will they do it? I mean, what do you think will be the actual outcome at the end of the day? Will the deficit ever go down in our lifetime? Will we ever actually pay off the debt? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.